Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and today we are going to be talking about Unity software. Are they in good shape, or are they about to go headfirst into an iceberg like the Titanic? Well, yesterday they reported financial details, and we got to admit, the last couple of years have not been great for Unity. Frankly, they haven't been great for most of us, but Unity stock definitely took a kicking. So to start the year out, they were at $142 a share, $145 a share, and I don't want to go through all the details of what got them down here to the $26, $27 a share mark back then, but they had a lot of problems over the previous year. A lot of acquisitions. They had the merger with IronSource, the almost merger with AppLovin. They had a couple of high-profile miscues. They had some layoffs. They had the canceling of the Gaia project. They had the CEO calling developers a bunch of bleeps. It was a year, definitely a year for Unity, and they just released their financial results yesterday, and it gives us an insight. And they're really the only big publicly traded game engine company, so they're the only one that show us these kind of financial insights. And the question is, are they okay? Did they miss that iceberg, or is it, panic time? And you can see, got a bit of a spoiler alert. They started yesterday at $21 a share, and right now they are trading at $27.02 a share, up 25%, or $5.52 a share. So the market liked what they reported, but not everything in this report is great news. Now, we're going to be talking about financial stuff today. I know it's a game development channel, but it does give you some insight into the biggest game development company that is publicly traded, so you get some ideas of what to expect from Unity and how things are going. And it is a mixed bag, to be honest. First off, revenue is up. That is a good move. So they made $322 million in the quarter, and they're actually expected to make quite a bit more next quarter, which I found kind of shocking because it's ultimately, you give a target, you hit the target, the market is happy. You miss the target, and your stock tanks. It's more or less how it goes. So they don't make these numbers up lightly. If you miss your target number when the actual revenue comes in, you get punished for it. So when they're saying that in Q4 they're going to make a bunch more money, that is interesting. Now, there are some downsides to this additional money, though, is that it costs them a lot more. So Unity is losing money right now. That's definitely an issue. So here are some of the highlights and lowlights of the announcement from yesterday. Revenue was basically $0.3 billion in the quarter. This is a 13% increase from the same quarter in 2021. That is good news. Create Solutions. This is basically game development. This is the core of Unity as you and I as game developers would think about. They made 138, whereas Operate Solutions, this would be server hosting, analytics, ads. I think their Parsec would be in this area as well. So a lot of the other aspects of the company are 171 million, whereas strategic partnerships and other revenue was 22.6. I don't know where something like Wedded Digital fits in there. It's definitely an aspect. Now, the key thing here is the red flag. So revenue was up, so they made a bunch more money. Revenue and profit, by the way, are not the same thing. And that's the key thing here. A revenue, so the amount of money they pulled in, is up by 13%. Operating losses, however, are up a lot more. So in Q3 of this year, it cost them basically $240 million. They lost $240 million to operate, whereas they lost $126 million in the previous quarter. That was so 74% of revenue was lost in versus 44% of revenue from the year before. So that is definitely a negative. Now, there are a number of reasons why it is legit to lose money. You could be in a growth phase. You could be focused on those things more so than you are on profitability, etc. But they're definitely not profitable as of yet. Now, non-GAAP, GAAP basically stands for generally accepted accounting practices. This is just basically a way of saying the way the industry scores things, more or less. So the way that when it comes down to a bean counter, you can make a loss look like a profit and a profit look like a loss. This is just basically saying using industry standard calculations. Loss from operations was 37.4 million, or 12% of revenue, compared to 6.2 million, or 2% of revenue in the third quarter of 2021. Basic diluted net share loss was 0.84 versus 0.41. Now, this part kind of means a little bit less because remember this, share price before, share price now. So loss per share, yeah, when your share is in the toilet, it doesn't mean a whole lot statistically. Now, one of the numbers I find most interesting, though, is this one right here. Just because it's reported, they have 1,075 customers that generate them $100,000 in revenue or more. and it could be substantially more. And a customer is an organization. So let's say, for example, EA has 35 different divisions all working with Unity, all buying licenses. To the way that this is reported, that is literally one customer. So this is the biggest source of their income. If my math is right, it's a little bit over $1 billion a year, comes from 1,000 customers. So that also means that us little indie guys, well, we can do some little math here. So let's say that this was all in Create. Well, actually, no, I guess not. So 3 million, us indies could still represent a bit of money, because I don't know how this is broken down. This isn't just Create money. So I don't know where the rest comes up, but obviously they report here because it is their single biggest focus of money. This is seat licenses, source code licenses, hosting, and all of that stuff. And I assume ad revenue as well. So they have 1,100 customers almost that are making them $100,000 a year or more. And that is up almost over 100. So that's good growth right there. Dollar-based net expansion rate as of September 30 was 111% as opposed to 142%. I will be honest, I have no idea what the hell that means, so I'm not going to go into it. And this one is also interesting. It's about the cash on hand. So free cash flow in the third quarter was negative 80 million compared to 34.2 million in the same period. So they burned through some cash, but interestingly enough, cash equivalent, and restricted cash were 1.3 billion as of September the 30th, 2022, compared to 0.8 billion as of September 30th, 2021. So for some reason, they have a $500 million on hand that they didn't have before. That could be from the ironSource merger. ironSource may have been sitting on a war chest and now it's merged in. No idea, but they're pretty fluid. $1.5 billion almost in just short-term convertibles and actual cash available. So we don't need to worry about them going away anytime soon. On top of that, we have some key highlight notes. The merger with ironSource is done. I know a lot of people on this channel aren't particularly loving on the ironSource concept, and there's probably going to be redundancies because of duplicate tasks that both companies did, which is also known as layoffs, especially in like the operational side of the business. That is going to come soon, or it may have already happened a little bit, but the two companies are now merged, and that is behind us. It didn't end the world, so hopefully that one's just behind us now. They launched self-serve features for game hosting and matchmaking. Most of this is fluff about how important matchmaking is, or online gaming is, to the world. They announced new pricing for Unity Pro and Enterprise plans. I covered that on the channel a little while back. They raised the pricing, I think it was about 30%. This is one of the downsides of a per-seat license as opposed to a royalty-based approach like what Epic Games use. With Epic Games, if the market grows, and say, gaming goes from a $2 billion a year to $3 billion a year industry, way low numbers, and you're making 5% of that, well, you just grew by 33% because of that growth in size. Whereas if you're per seats, the only way you can grow your revenue on a per seat is to either charge more per seat or, back to this, increase the number of customers buying seats. That's literally the only ways you can really increase your profit in that system. So every few years, Unity are going to have to bump the prices. And I think we're kind of getting used to prices being bumped on literally every damned aspect of our damned lives this year. So that one's not particularly shocking. And then here a little bit about their work in the film world. I don't care, honestly. The nice thing is I was at Unity's Unite, and they were very focused on the game development. Barely talked about this side of things, the film side, the Weta stuff, even in the metaverse didn't get mentioned that much. They were heavily focused on games, which was what I like to see. And then, of course, there's a little bit in this digital twin aspect of things, but not a whole lot being said. So we got some details here. Here is their guidance. So here is what they say is going to happen in the next quarter. And you can't just pull this stuff out of your ass. You actually have to try and hit these numbers. If you do not hit your guidance, your stock tanks. So even if you lose money, but you hit your targets or you exceed what your targets are, generally your stock will go up as a result. So you don't want to just make these things up. And what they're saying is they're going to go 425 to 445 million next quarter, which again, this quarter was 322 million. So they're looking at like a 25% plus increase in revenue, and they're expected to make 1.3 to 1.4 billion dollars on the year total. You can see also anything that's in parentheses like this is a negative, so they are going to lose money, and that is expected. And generally that is, and if you're in a growth company, you can lose money and the stock market isn't going to kill you. They had earnings webcast details. This is actually available now. So if you want to, read about what people asked them on their earnings and so on, you can. And we go through the rest of this. It's just sort of a breakdown of what they include, they don't include, and so on. A couple of interesting things here. They did spin off a joint venture in China. So their operating division, so their Shanghai-based Unity office is now part of this joint venture that they partially own. You kind of have to run a joint venture if you want to work in China. It's just the local government has different requirements from the rest of the world, and that's the nature of the beast over there. They did spin off Unity into Unity China. I don't know if that will ultimately be profitable or good for them or what the deal is, but that is an aspect of what happened. And then a bit of a breakdown of where they made money, lost money, and so on. But what is finally interesting is this chart over here. So you can see some details compared to the previous year. So again, they have more money on hand. They have less assets just by slightly. You come down here, you can see their revenue. So again, their revenue is better for sure, but the cost of revenue is way higher. So there's definitely some negatives there. They're pulling in more money. Keep in mind, revenue and profit are not the same thing, because revenue in profit is basically when this goes the other way. So you can see the gross profit over here. So the gross profit was 210 million versus 222 million. So even though they made more money, they lost money because the cost of making that money was higher. Hopefully that makes sense to you. You can see also some breakdowns. This I'd love to see. I'm very, very happy to see, and I want to see this every year as an end user. They increased the amount put into R&D by quite a bit. So this is generally the cost of hiring people to work on new technologies and the various different acquisitions and so on in that area. So that is nice to see. They're definitely investing more into the technical aspects of things, but it has also raised their operating expenses by $100 million. So downsides there as well. But that is the numbers of all the stuff. You go into a bunch more technical detail or financial detail about what they just announced. But for the most part, goodish news, I would say. That's why the market is responding to it. They hit their numbers. They actually exceeded their targets. They're still losing money, which is unfortunate. Their cost of actually earning money is high. I do imagine we will see some redundancies, aka layoffs, because of the iron source thing, especially on the operate side of the business, but that is just speculation on my behalf. If you want a little bit more insight into the entire thing, there is the Unity call. So it's an interview with the key people at Unity and the financial side of things. You can see sort of where their focus is. They're struggling a little bit on the advertisement side of things, especially Apple threw a monkey wrench in everybody's business when they said that whole do not track thing. So all of the ad-based companies, Facebook, etc., they're all hurting in that area. But you get a bit of an insight into where they're going to grow the company, where the important parts are, how many employees they have. So they have 6 million. They have 6,244 employees. They had 6,246 at the end of the second quarter. So we're not seeing huge layoffs or changes in staffing levels or anything like that. Again, when you merge with another company, you do ultimately have some redundancies going in. Again, they are forecasting some pretty major increases in revenue into the next quarter, 35 to 41% increase year on year. Interested to see how that goes. So you can get some more insight in the this interview right here on how they look at the company, how they're going to grow the company, where the priorities are, way beyond what I want to get into in this particular video. And once again, here you can see how the stock market is responding to it. So in the time I did this video, the stock price has not changed at all, but a jump by 25%, not bad. Not bad at all. Hopefully it's start of a bit of a positive trend and Unity does a bit of a recovery because, again, they have had a rough year. And this is, they're a friend. I covered a lot of negatives about Unity over the last couple of years because the news has just been negative, and I want the news to be positive again. So hopefully this is the beginning of that. Was it a slam dunk? No. Was it terrible? No. Should you buy Unity stock? I don't know right now. I honestly don't know about anything. It's the most volatile market I've ever seen in my life. So I'm not going to give you any financial advice. All I will disclose is I own no Unity shares. Unfortunately, I do own AMD shares. And well, today's a good day, but this hasn't been a great year for AMD investors either. So let me know what you think of Unity, where they're going, their financial results. Do you like the insights into the game engine financial side of things that they have to disclose since their IPO, or you just don't care less? And if you don't care less, how did you just sit through a 15-minute financials video? Anyways, talk to you all later. Hope some of you guys found that interesting, and goodbye.